Hi, I'm Gareth Spence and welcome to Tech Talk. In today's show, we're talking about the evolution of optical network and Adtran's recent announcement of IP-to-WDM. To help me learn more, I'm joined by Stephan Rettenberger from Adtran. Stephan, what is IP-to-WDM?
IP-to-WDM is our answer to a fairly recent development in the industry. There is this wonderful ecosystem of coherent transceivers, widely adopted with hyperscalers, but not really adopted in the carrier space yet. And we have found a way, innovative and at the same time pragmatic, to allow these carriers to tap into the ecosystem of coherent transceivers, while at the same time retaining control and the operational processes that they have in the infrastructure.
Why did you introduce this now? What was wrong with the current approach?
So, we exist as an industry to lower the cost per gigabit mile. That typically involves higher data rates, smaller footprint, low power consumption, and some easy logistics, an open ecosystem. And coherent transceiver technology gives us these higher data rates with a very robust signal. Pluggables give us the opportunity to have an open ecosystem and small footprint, low power consumption. And so for us, it was very important to make sure that system, that ecosystem can be used not only for hyperscalers. They have adopted it in their point-to-point data center interconnect topologies, but there has not been any widespread adoption in the carrier infrastructure where you have much more complicated topologies and just very different operational needs. And we felt this is the right time to bring the pluggables, the coherent pluggables, into the carrier infrastructure.
From a technology perspective, is there a secret sauce to IP-to-WDM?
I guess it's the innovation in that solution is take what you need and take out what you don't need. So the IP-over-WDM approach, which the hyperscalers adopted, is quite radical. You put the coherent transceiver directly into the data center switch. You put it over an open line system. It's typically a simple point-to-point link. You build very big fat pipes that are not being rerouted, reconfigured. It's just a static network. You eliminate a fully fledged transponder and go directly coherent transceiver to coherent transceiver over a very thin system. The traditional telco approach is a fully fledged OTN transponder, typically a device that has OTN capabilities, lots of feature functionality, fairly big footprint, power consumption. It's the other extreme. So what we're trying to do in the secret sauce is take out everything that you don't need from that OTN transponder approach, at the same time give the operator a clear demarcation, the multiplexing gain, and everything that they normally appreciate and like from an optical transport layer. And remember, a carrier typically separates the transport layer from the IP layer, both organizationally and the way the network is being operated and managed.
You've already mentioned a few key benefits to this approach, but if you had to underline some elements, what would you say that this gives customers that they couldn't get before?
So you get access to a whole suite of coherent transceivers, pluggable transceivers, and you now have the chance to deploy them in a carrier infrastructure where you have multiplexing gains, so either from multiple 100 gigs into 400 or two 400 gigs into 800. Again, that's another benefit of a transport infrastructure. And you can maintain your operational processes. You have a solid bit pipe optical layer that gives you a high performance transport underlay. And then the IP group that typically takes the transport layer for granted can do their usual IP core network or IP edge network on top of it without having to do any finger pointing about whose responsibility is it when the link goes down. So leverage your existing processes and what you like about having transport without the cost of a full OTN network, and make the IP over WDM and IP-to-WDM have that gateway, our MFlex 800, that allows you to connect the two worlds in an extremely cost-effective and also, again, small footprint, low power consumption, very economical way.
Stephan, thanks for joining me today.